Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this September 2025 energy update. It's been a while since I posted. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. As I felt into the energies, it really felt like I wanted to take more of a healing approach than I've done in the past. So I decided for this equinox to just tune into the energy of the collective of humanity. And I'm doing a technique called an energy scan. I'm going to be looking at all the different, the seven major energy centers or chakras, and really applying that to the body of humanity and just looking in and seeing what comes up for me. I'm going to encourage you to do the same as you listen to this video. Feel in and see what comes forward for you, because I did the scan a couple days ago, and by the time I post this, the energy will have shifted. So I would love to hear your perspective on your insights as to the energy. Now we're going to be focusing more on just the energy and not so much on current events or anything going on. I really would love for this to be a healing experience, and I would love for you, if you feel so inclined, to participate, because I feel like there's so much of a call for healing right now. So as you listen, please feel in to what is being brought up for healing and how can we address that. By the way, I did create a healing piece of artwork to bring forward as a gift to the collective, as my Equinox gift. I will be giving this piece away. I'll be announcing the winner on October 15th. So if you're interested in signing up for a chance to win for this, just join my art email list, and that link is below, and you'll be in the running to win this piece. All right, so going into the energy scan, I'm going to very briefly share what came forward for me. In the crown, the first thing that I saw was the fish symbol, okay? The Christian fish symbol, like a half of a Pisces symbol, right? So what's coming forward to me here, first of all, I really associate the fish with abundance. If you think of the story of loaves and fishes, and not just abundance, but this very strong kind of life force energy. The fish is like this primal life force that it's got a very emotional component to it as well. But I think this particular symbol is not just any fish. It's associated with the early Christian movement, which had a lot of power to it. And I feel like the symbol is that there is, and it feels like there's an opening in the crown chakra of the collective that is allowing for a greater connection with life force, and for really kind of swimming through the emotional waters, okay? A lot of emotional stuff coming up for healing right now. So when I really felt into that, I was shown like schools of fishes moving as one. You know how you can get like 100 or 500 fish moving together, and they're all in this one group, and it's all like one body, even though they're all individuals. And so that is what I feel is starting to really shape up in a big way right now in the collective. This can move in positive ways, or it can move in negative ways. Okay, so when the predominant emotion is love, then we start creating this very protective and very dynamic energy of individuals coming together for a common purpose or through the common heart center and moving in unison, which is beautiful. Okay, this is this new higher earth, fifth dimensional energy, and there's a huge portal opening for this right now. In the inverted form, it can show up as masses of humanity that haven't yet individuated, and they're still reacting to their base or a kind of animalistic or emotional drives. And what that does is it makes them very vulnerable to manipulation or to reaction to events at more of a fear-based level. Okay, so that'll depend on the spiritual strength of the individuals making up these bodies. So we could see around this equinox and in the weeks following some very just spontaneous sort of mass reactions, okay? And these could be negative, Or we could start seeing spontaneous acts of kindness and generosity and spiritual activism on a large scale. Okay, so I expect probably we will see both. All right, so I'm going to drop down into the third eye now. And what I saw here was I felt this really visceral vertical drop, like almost being in a roller coaster and you get this drop, like the heart, heart in the mouth kind of sensation, or on an elevator or something like suddenly boom. All right, so I'm sensing it could be some sort of a sudden revealment, like a sudden opening of the third eye is what I'm feeling, but almost coming as a sudden revealment. It could feel like a coming down to earth in some ways. Coming down to earth usually is a positive thing, but it can feel shocking, right? If in the sudden seeing of truth sometimes can be really a shocking thing, especially if what you're seeing flies in the face of deeply held entrenched beliefs. So it could be something coming to light that has been hidden from view, or a sudden great clarity, but it could also be a sudden kind of cloaking or hiding, right? So again, these things can go both ways. And so what I'd love to really call for here in healing is to uphold any kind of clarity that may be coming forward, but hold space for that to happen gently, all right? As things get revealed, helping the emotional body to enter more of a state of peace, or being able to transition smoothly, right? Rather than a very, rather than feeling so abrupt. Okay, even if it is abrupt, we can really hold space for gentleness, right? Moving down into the throat chakra, I felt a real kind of sense of nervousness and unease, okay? Not sure where to stand, not sure how to speak out, not sure how to express oneself, all right? So, and the other thing that came forward really strongly was the idea of labeling, right? So this is also connected with the third eye and having one's vision of what one is. And the encouragement came through to just drop the labels. Drop the labels to see the truth, okay? There's such a tendency right now to place labels, and as soon as a label is placed, we think we know everything that there is to know about that person, that movement, whatever it is, okay? And so the encouragement is drop the labels to see the truth. And when you see the truth, you become much more clear about your purpose, and your way will be shown to you, and your confidence will rise. But I think when I say see the truth, can we stop looking at ourselves as I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal, I'm left, I'm right, I'm Christian, I'm pagan, I'm whatever, okay? Can we start seeing that I'm a human being, I'm a child of God, I have these values. What do these values mean? Well, rather than just, I believe in this, what is that? Start looking deeper. Start looking deeper beyond the label as to, well, what are your actual beliefs? What does that other person mean when they say something, right? Define what you mean so that we can start getting down into what is actually meant, or what is actually being held in the heart, and beginning to speak from that sense of truth rather than in headlines. Okay. Um, Moving down to the heart, I felt a lot of heartbreak. And it also felt like there's a turning within. And that can be a really healthy thing. Okay. Pain will catalyze introspection, right? Going within, looking within. And that is what really drives spiritual growth. So even though there may be painful things happening around now and throughout this equinox period of time, knowing that this can be a catalyst for great healing, for great spiritual growth, for paving the way for reconciliation. This is what we can hold space for, and looking at whatever pain or heartbreak is happening with compassion and understanding that in the larger plan, typically pain will, or it has the capacity to open us up into beautiful changes, okay? There's also pain for no reason, and that's where we want to really bring up the healing energy so that we can start shifting that pain and transmuting it into positive energies. Okay, so going down into the solar plexus area, the phrase came forward. I got this really strong, like, I can't believe it, right? I don't believe it. And it's almost connected with the third eye. It's like, I don't want to look at this. I don't want to, this is challenging me so much that I can't even handle it, right? This is the feeling that I'm getting from the collective right now. So the encouragement is to examine your beliefs, right? And to have the courage to see things the way they really are, okay? And to have the courage to really look fear in the face, especially, okay? And if anything triggers fear for you, to really look at that, and rather than just rejecting it or labeling it or turning away or hiding or running, sit with it for a little bit and allow yourself to feel it and to just allow it to be, um, acknowledging that there may be a feeling of overwhelm. Like, how can I possibly go against the odds? And it may feel like there's so much evil in the world that what can we possibly do? And I need to let you know that when evil shows up in the world, it radiates this kind of fear, which can be paralyzing, okay? And sometimes it's not even possible to take action when we're under the influence of fear. So what I have found is that sometimes the best thing to do is to just go quiet and sit with it and kind of tune into the heart and breathe, okay? And come back to center and see, well, what can we release about this fear? Okay, sometimes the fear is caught up with a sense of responsibility, like I have to fix this. Okay, um, and remembering that Rome wasn't built in a day, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right? That we're not being asked to fix this right now, especially each one of us as an individual. This is a marathon, not a sprint, right? This whole healing journey that we're on, both individually and as collective, it happens bit by bit. We didn't get to this fallen state overnight, and it's not going to undo itself overnight, but it will happen bit by bit by bit. So every little thought, every little action makes a difference. And knowing that you don't have to do a lot, you don't have to be a huge hero, you don't have to perform miracles in your own life in order to contribute to the ongoing miracle that is happening right now. Um, whatever you're called to do, just know that you're capable of it, right? If you're feeling a little inkling towards something, you don't have to go all in right away. You don't have to have accomplished a big goal right away, but just one little step towards that goal, or one little step, one little prayer at a time, right? And also don't feel like you have to do it all by yourself, okay? The important thing is to take action. So when we come into stillness, if we're faced with feelings of overwhelm, faced with feelings of I don't even know, right? Come to stillness first, breathe, and then just ask your heart for what's a little action that I can take. And that will break that sense of paralysis, and you can start to go again in a positive direction. Okay, to take that little first step in the journey, and it might be just breathing, and it might be calling a friend, or it might be taking a nap, or it could be, okay, well, what is it that I've been procrastinating on? And let's take a look at that and set the timer for 5 minutes and just get started on it, right? So taking that next step in the journey, then the next and the next, and trust that your little actions will get you there. Our little actions as a collective of humanity, each will get us there. Sometimes we take steps forward, sometimes steps back, but collectively we are moving forward, and just know that. Okay, so moving down to the sacral chakra, I saw, I'm going to show you some of these little symbols that came forward. Just these little, almost like kind of seed of life. I'm looking at it, and it looks like the little clumps of cells when you have a zygote forming, and it starts to get bigger. All right, so I'm feeling like there's a real organic movement, and it's life-based. Okay, a movement that is going to be unstoppable, that's starting in the sacral chakra of humanity. That's our creative center. And so I really feel like this is a real seed of the life force that is really beginning to take root and grow right now. It is unstoppable. The forces of darkness will try to stop it, okay? And we have to understand that it's our organic nature that is directly linked to spirit, okay? And so our body is involved, all our subtle bodies are involved, our higher self, but also our physical body. So you may feel things physically as we move forward from here. Start to get a real feel for your physical body will tell you when something is healthy or something is in alignment with the life force, whether it's a belief or a ritual that you're being asked to do, or if it's just a food that you're contemplating eating. Ask your body, and your body will give you signals, okay? And a way to work with this, to start to become sensitive to it, is to when you know that you're doing something that's really healthy for you, right? You get a massage, you drink a really pure glass of water, something like that. Feel and sense the energy of your body and what that feels like. You may feel your body sort of rejoicing, okay? And so get to know what that feels like when your body's telling you this is good versus what it feels like when your body's telling you, oh, this isn't so good for me, okay? We want to start getting very, very clear on that, because this organic life force that is growing on the earth, right? It's something that this is the current that's going to take us to this higher place, okay? And it happens organically. It is not artificial in any way, okay? So it's really important right now to maintain and strengthen our connection with nature. Remember that we are nature. We are not separate from nature. We are each a part of nature. Humanity itself is a part of nature. Humanity is a part of Mother Gaia. Okay, really remembering this very, very basic concept that we are not separate from all the rest of nature. And also an encouragement to spend time unplugged, right? To listen to the silence, listen to the wind and the four winds, the directions, the winds, okay, that we can count on, and knowing that we create from our organic essence, okay? So there's this whole thing going on with AI that it's really taking the world by storm. AI has its uses. You have to decide for yourself whether it feels good to you or not to use AI. I think for some of us, it will be a very helpful tool, but we have to use it in context of this is a tool and it is not a savior. It is not going to save us. What's going to save us is our internal alignment with the life force energy, which is organic, okay? So don't abdicate your creative power to anything artificial or anything outside of you. It comes from within. Don't let artificial intelligence or anything else outside of you lead you around. Really, it's time to tune into our internal sense of belonging to the life force and allow that to lead us, okay? And then finally, moving down to the root chakra, all right? I got a real feeling of anger, very inflamed, angry, boiling, unrest. Again, working with the emotional body. But here in the root, it's anger, all right? So I feel like there's going to need to be some balance between crown and root and helping us to integrate all the stuff that's been going on, and it will continue to go on, right, through the emotional body and the etheric, the energetic body, these working very closely in alignment right now. So the call here is, if you're feeling any anger, okay, or if you're sensing anger around you, how can we address that anger, acknowledge it, and then begin to, because anger wants to turn into action, okay? That's the purpose of anger, is to turn into action. And so anger doesn't need to be a negative thing. It can be, but it can also be very positive, but it needs to be worked with and transmuted, right? If we can transmute that anger into a sense of purpose, if we can transmute that anger into a sense of courage, okay, that's going to help each of us to step up into our higher purpose and to take action in alignment with our divine purpose and our divine will, okay? Notice what makes you anger, or notice where you're feeling anger and where you are feeling called to address that, okay? And then when I asked for a healing symbol for this equinox, I was given this little symbol here, and that's what I turned in this painting that I'm going to show you. I call this painting Emerald River, okay? And we've got a couple elements here. We've got this beautiful equal-armed Celtic cross that came forward in gold. And then we've got this very watery, kind of flowing energy around and through it. All right. So what I'm seeing here, first of all, the symbol of the Celtic knot. So we're working with the sacred directions. It's related to the medicine wheel, right? It's like a map of the natural world. And if you go into like the Celtic symbolism, we're going to have the four directions here. It's going to also symbolize the wheel of the year. It can also represent the four bodies, right? Mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical. Or you could also look at the physical body, the astral, etheric, and then the higher self or Christ body. So we've got these all integrated and interconnected and working together. So this is a really powerful symbol for healing and for wholeness. All right. So bringing this symbol forward for the collective through this piece of art. If you look at the whole symbol, it's all wrapped up in this circle, okay, which is wholeness. It's also divine feminine. Within the cross, we have divine feminine and masculine integrated, right? So these forces working together, this is what really can drive the life force, right? It's when we have that. And also, it's the sense of being enclosed, protected. The energy is allowed to move through here, but there's still like a sense of boundary so that we are healing any sense of bleeding energy out, right? Even though there's all this beautiful flowy stuff, we also have the sense of boundary and holding that energy within. And like I said, it's called Emerald River, and so I feel like it's really calling on the energies of the Emerald Ray, which is a healing ray. It's connected with the heart chakra, and it's also connected with the Ascended Masters, Mother Mary, and Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing. So really calling on the presence of Raphael right now in the world, asking him to bless and heal humanity and send healing love and healing energy throughout the world, and especially throughout the waters of the world. I'm feeling like the water does correspond with the emotional body, and we've got, I don't know if you can see, but I used a lot of gold paint in this, and so there's like these gold sparkles and like these sense of light sparkling. So we're really just going to call for angelic healing to come forward and send these sparkles of light all through the emotional body of humanity, cleansing and clearing out lower energies and inviting the life force to start flowing through us in a bigger way, and bringing happiness, right? Bringing some joy into the world, bringing a sense of playfulness into the world, right? I invite you to play, even if there's heavy news out. Becoming like a little child is a real thing. It is a way to really access the purity that is within our higher selves, okay? Play in water if you can. And also blessing of the waters. The water helps to clear and cleanse the divine feminine forces, which are going to be increasingly important as we move forward through this time that we're in. It's going to be more and more important for the divine mother energy to come forward. And so I feel like there's an opening right now, an opportunity to really start to call for healing of the mother. All right, and calling on Mother Mary, amongst others, to assist with that and working in our heart center to bring about a greater sense of love and healing for the mother, especially. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And I do want to also invite you to my next Lightworkers Cafe gathering. This happens this Sunday, September 21st, which is right around the time of the equinox. And we're going to do a guided meditation gathering. We're going to start with some community sharing about the energies of this equinox, and then we'll go into lead a guided meditation to help to move some of this healing energy through us as a collective. I would love for you to participate and attend if you feel guided to. So I will leave the link to that below in order to access that. These gatherings are always free, You would just need to sign up for my Spoken Earth Ministry emails. That's below. There's two email lists, one for the Spoken Earth Ministry for a free spiritual community, and also my Art of Awakening list that will give you updates on new art, as well as put you in the drawing to win this painting, Emerald River. So if you have enjoyed this, the best thing that you can do to help this channel to grow and to thrive is to just hit that like and subscribe if you haven't. Send it to a friend, and remember, you were born to be free.